All right, time for Katz Ranks here, looking at the top power forwards in college basketball. This would be the Karl Malone Award. And for this one, I wanted to do a little bit differently and put freshmen on the list, but to put them at the bottom because they got to earn it. Maybe I should have done that in the previous rankings, but I got 25 for you. So let's start with the freshmen. These freshmen are going to have a major impact on their respective teams in the front court. Starting at 25, working our way up. Scotty Barnes from Florida State, Greg Brown from Texas, Evan Mobley from USC, and McCord Maker from Howard. Those four players, okay, are all going to have an impact in their conference, on their team, probably going to finish much higher up in any kind of ranking. And all of them could have chosen to go to either the G League developmental team, played overseas, somewhere else. They chose to come to college basketball. All right, so now let's work 21 up. Hassan French from St. Louis. The Billikens are going to be an A-10, maybe co-favorite with Richmond. They're certainly going to be up in the top two. E.J. Liddell from Ohio State. He's going to be a major factor with Seth Towns in terms of, clearly having a role in that front court, and his numbers are going to climb for the Buckeyes. KJ Buffin from Ole Miss, kind of unheralded a little bit down in Oxford. I think, if Ole Miss is going to be an NCAA tournament team, Buffin's going to have a lot to do with that. Justin Smith from Arkansas, the Indiana transfer. Eric Musselman's certainly going to get a lot out of Justin Smith. Throughout the time that I was covering the Big Ten in Indiana with Smith there, the coaching staff always was talking so highly of his potential. We'll see if he gets it in Fayetteville. Anton Watson at Gonzaga, injured last season at times. You pair him with Drew Timme and certainly Corey Kispert. That is quite a front court. Anton Watson is going to have, I think, plenty of productive nights for the Zags. Nate Reavers from Wisconsin, much more of a face-up player, but he worked inside a lot and worked those angles, not as well as Ethan Happ, but he certainly can be productive inside. Matthew Hurt from Duke. The Blue Devils expect him to have a highly productive season after the departures of Vernon Carey, certainly up front. Brady Manic from Oklahoma, the Larry Bird lookalike. He'll put up solid numbers for the Sooners, another team that doesn't get a lot of attention, but they'll be an NCAA tournament-type team. Franz Wagner from Michigan, certainly a face-up forward. He can drive and lay the ball in, but he's certainly, with his decision to come back, that'll help the Wolverines as well. Sandro Mamukelashvili from Seton Hall. He can be a bruiser at times, likes to score facing the basket, but the Pirates, if they're going to be in the NCAA tournament with no Miles Powell, a lot of that will have to do with Mamukelashvili and his productivity. John Fulkerson from Tennessee, he'll end up being one of the best players in the SEC in his ability to score inside. Another player that doesn't get a lot of attention that I think deserves more so is DJ Funderburk from NC State. And the Wolfpack are going to be one of those bubblicious teams, I think, out of the ACC. Now, let's move into my top 10. Mark Vital of Baylor, just a loaded Bears team that's going to be ranked somewhere in the top 3, I think, consistently throughout the course of the season, and the Big 12 favorite. Let's go out to Oregon. Former Rutgers player, Eugene Omoruyi, okay? He certainly could be one of the better players in the Pac-12, and I think people almost forgot about him because he transferred from Rutgers. Trevion Williams from Purdue, with no Matt Harms, he was getting more touches, and that will continue to be the case for the Boilermakers. I think they're an NCAA tournament team. Trenton Watford from LSU, he'll be one of the better players in the SEC, potential all-first-team SEC player. Derek Culver from West Virginia, you could rotate him or Oscar Tshiebwe in terms of who's a center, who's a power forward. For these purposes, we'll go with Culver as a player that's going to be highly productive for the Mountaineers. Joey Hauser from Michigan State, transfer from Marquette. He'll be a face-up forward, but certainly can score, driving to the bucket. Amir Sims from Clemson, another player that doesn't get enough recognition. And if the Tigers are going to be at a bubblicious team and in the NCAA tournament, Sims will get the job done. Jeremiah Robinson Earl from Villanova decides to come back. The Wildcats, the Big East favorite, top 3 team. Robinson Earl potentially could lead them to the Final Four. And I think one of the most underappreciated players entering this season, a sophomore power forward from Indiana, Trace Jackson Davis. He could be for sure all first-team Big Ten, and will challenge with Luka Garza, with Ayo Dosunmu, for potential Big Ten Player of the Year. So that's just 25. There could be more. You could put them in any order you want, and I know I'm going to be challenged by that. But hey, it's up for debate here on Katz Ranks.